Big news out of Congress. President Trump has signed a bill that forces the Justice Department to release its case files on Jeffrey Epstein.
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
And the numbers are staggering. The DOJ says Epstein had more than 1,000 victims. One of them, Annie Farmer, says she was just a teenager when Epstein and Maxwell targeted her, and her story really shows the long, painful road survivors have faced. Farmer told CBS New York that for decades, it felt like no one was listening. But this moment, the chance for full transparency, is giving her some hope. She said, "It's a mix of emotions. We're proud, we're relieved, but it's also bittersweet because some people aren't here to see this." Can you imagine fighting for justice for that long and finally feeling like maybe, just maybe, the system is catching up?
So I think it felt surreal for many of us to know that we were closer to the truth than ever before.
Now, even with the files coming out, Farmer says trusting the government isn't easy. "I'll believe it when I see it," she said, explaining that survivors are hopeful but cautious.
And I think there's a little bit of anxiety about what comes next. We feel hopeful but nervous about how the DOJ will really handle transparency in this case.
The bill ensures victims' names will be redacted and that the DOJ can't withhold files just because they're politically sensitive. Farmer emphasized that the people named in these files, many in media, academia, and government, should face scrutiny. They should face consequences for enabling or being involved with Epstein and his group. "I'm glad they won't get off that way," she said. When it comes to Maxwell, Farmer doesn't hold back. She sees Epstein's co-conspirator as equally abusive and especially cruel. "I've been alarmed by her special treatment. It's another example of what people are so disgusted by. People in power thinking they get a separate set of rules," she said. And Annie hopes all the attention ensures Maxwell serves her sentence like anyone else would. Farmer also shared a heartfelt message for her younger self. "It's okay to talk about what happened. Tell someone it wasn't your fault, you didn't do anything wrong." Powerful words that really resonate beyond just this case. Now remember, Farmer has already testified in Maxwell's trial. She recounted being lured to Epstein's New Mexico ranch in 1996, thinking it would be about academic mentoring. Instead, she said Maxwell and Epstein engaged in inappropriate behavior toward her.
I really spoke directly to the judge. I wanted her to take into account some of the long-term impacts that these kinds of crimes have and have had for me and for my sister Maria. And I wanted her to understand that there's systemic effects of those, that it's not just about those individuals, but also about all their loved ones and the pain and suffering that, communities go through because of these crimes.
3 other women at the trial also described being recruited by Maxwell for massages that turned into inappropriate behavior. Maxwell, now 59, denies the allegations and says the government is making her a scapegoat. During her testimony, Farmer described how she felt during those encounters. "I just wanted the weekend to be over. I wanted to be done with it." She even identified Maxwell in the courtroom, sitting at the defense table.
I actually did make an attempt several times during my impact statement to make eye contact with her and look directly at where she was sitting, and she just looked down. She never looked back.
Unlike other survivors who used pseudonyms, Farmer took the stand with her real name. She testified that Epstein first approached her when she was a teenager in New York City, pretending to offer mentorship, but then behaved inappropriately toward her during outings, even with Maxwell present. When Annie returned home from the New Mexico trip, her mother noticed a change. Farmer was quiet and withdrawn, and only spoke up later, worried that sharing what happened might ruin her life. It's a reminder of just how complicated and painful this journey has been for survivors.
Did you accept her apology? Did you think it was an apology?
I didn't think it was an apology. She didn't take any responsibility. She acknowledged that there was pain and suffering, but she did not take ownership of causing that pain and suffering.
You've probably heard of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, and let's be real. Their names together are enough to send chills down your spine. Why? Because after Epstein's 2019 arrest, it was revealed they were involved in horrific crimes that shocked the world. So, what was really going on between them? It all started in 1991. Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of British media tycoon Robert Maxwell, had just moved to New York to launch a magazine and keep her socialite lifestyle alive. She was well-connected, polished, and thanks to her dad, who owned the New York Daily News, she had instant access to Manhattan's elite. That's when she met Jeffrey Epstein.
I'm not sure exactly what the outcome will be, but definitely not good.
Now, Epstein wasn't exactly new money. He was already rich and mysterious, with a reputation for moving in powerful circles. Maxwell, on the other hand, was on the brink of losing everything. Later that same year, her father died suddenly in a boating accident. And not long after, the financial house of cards collapsed. Turns out, Robert had stolen hundreds of millions in pension funds. Ghislaine's privileged life vanished almost overnight. Her New York dream? Gone. She had to downsize, reassess, and that's where Epstein came in. He helped her get back on her feet. Some say he rescued her. Others say he bought her loyalty. By 1992, people were whispering they were a couple. But even if there was romance, money played a huge role. Prosecutors in her later trial said it clearly. Maxwell stuck around for the lifestyle. Epstein funded her lavish life, gave her properties, paid her tens of millions. Yes, millions. One witness even said she got a helicopter, paid for by Epstein. Priorities: helicopter first, morals later. But Epstein got plenty out of their relationship too. Maxwell had elite social access. Royals, politicians, celebrities, she could get into any room. Epstein, not so much. He was rich, but socially awkward. Maxwell was the charismatic bridge, the one who brought people like Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Prince Andrew into his orbit. One publicist put it bluntly: she was a classic social climber, and he was collecting people. It worked.
The couple was photographed widely at social events, including with some very notable faces, from President Bill Clinton to future President Donald Trump and the future First Lady, to across the Atlantic with Prince Andrew, the Duke of York.
Their relationship? Complicated. They never confirmed they were dating, but many who knew them believed Epstein and Maxwell were more than friends. Witnesses described them as very playful and even handsy in public. Maxwell's own brothers said they had been a couple at some point, but not a normal one. No shared home, no great love story, just partnership with blurred lines. Maxwell wasn't just Epstein's plus one. She ran his homes. She booked the flights, managed the staff, and even gave employees handbooks that reminded them to see nothing, hear nothing, say nothing. According to Epstein's pilots, Maxwell hired people, oversaw finances, and acted like the lady of the house. One employee said the moment she stepped in, she took over. But Ghislaine also had a much more sinister job, recruiting and grooming girls. A woman named Annie Farmer said Maxwell was key in luring her in when she was just 16. She described Maxwell and Epstein as a team, not a romantic couple, a criminal partnership.
You own an island, right?
Thank you very much.
Two islands, the islands of Dr. Moreau.
Correct.
Even after Epstein was convicted of soliciting a minor in 2006, Maxwell didn't cut ties. Sure, she started dating billionaire Ted Waite for a while, but Ghislaine stayed close to Epstein behind the scenes.
What was the crime of which you were convicted?
Two counts, one soliciting prostitution and procuring a minor for prostitution.
Emails from that time show Epstein encouraging her to hold her head high and act like you've done nothing wrong. Maxwell even admitted during a 2016 deposition that she still worked with him on property deals. Ghislaine said she felt loyal to him, partly because he helped her after her father died. That loyalty would come back to haunt her. Eventually, the truth caught up. In 2020, Maxwell was arrested and charged with multiple counts of sex trafficking. During her trial, victims described how she exploited them as teenagers, offering dreams but delivering trauma. Maxwell insisted she was innocent, but the jury didn't buy it.
I obviously wish I'd never met him. You know, looking back now,